Now that you know about optimization in general, we're going to dive in and talk about specific techniques that we can do with our websites. We'll be focusing here on image optimization. Image optimization on WordPress refers to the process of reducing the file size of images on your website while maintaining a good quality. This is achieved by resizing, compressing, and sometimes converting image formats, ultimately improving your website's loading speed and user experience by delivering smaller image files without sacrificing visual appeal. This can often be done using dedicated WordPress plugins that automatically optimize images upon upload. Before proceeding, let's briefly discuss the advantages of image optimization. Image optimization will help you improve page load speed, user experience, and SEO, and it doesn't require any development skills. Image optimization clearly has a domino effect. If your images load quickly, they will increase user engagement and then lead to improved search engine ranking. Key points about image optimization include reducing the file size. The primary goal is to shrink image file size without significantly impacting visual quality. You'll also want to improve page load speed. Smaller image files leads to faster loading times, enhancing the user experience. Finally, you will benefit from better SEO. Optimized images can positively impact your website's search engine ranking. Methods include cropping or scaling images to the appropriate dimensions for your website, using compression algorithms to reduce file size without losing too much quality, choosing the right format, and this includes selecting the most suitable image format like JPEG or WebP depending on the image type. And finally, you'll want to use meaningful file names and be sure to add alt text. When naming files for WordPress websites, use short descriptive file names that accurately represent the image content, including relevant keywords separated by hyphens. This will improve SEO and make it easier for search engines to understand the image. Avoid generic names like image1 or pic1 and focus on describing the picture with keywords. Key points to remember are use words that clearly describe the image content. Use hyphens instead of spaces between words in the file name. Aim for short file names, avoiding overly long descriptions. Avoid generic names. Don't use names like image1.jpg or pic2.png. Include relevant keywords that people might search for when looking for the image content. Take the time to name your files in an appropriate way, and this can really help SEO on your website. WordPress lets you upload images in several formats. Images are usually saved as JPEG, PNG, SVG, WebP, or AVIF. JPEG is typically used for photographs and images of people and objects. PNG is suitable for graphics, illustrations, and images with transparency. SVG is great for logos or simple line art. SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics, and it is a resolution-independent format. WebP and AVIF are excellent choices for optimizing website performance, especially for non-vectorized assets like photos and animations due to their superior compression capabilities. I would recommend avoiding GIFs as they present accessibility challenges. I'm often asked, what is the optimal size to make my images for WordPress? This question depends on how you'll use the image. The correct image size for WordPress depends on the type of image and the theme you're using. WordPress automatically resizes images to save bandwidth, but you should create small versions so that you can specify what image you want to use on mobile. This will always give you better results. Here I have some suggestions for various image types that you may be using on your WordPress website. But as I mentioned before, these are not a fixed dimension since it really depends on the theme and the project you're using. But you can use these as a general guideline. There are several different methods that you can use to optimize images. Firstly, you can use a WordPress plugin. You already know how to add plugins, and I will show you some specific image optimization plugins in just a moment. There are a plethora of image optimization plugins that you can choose from, but here I have given you some suggestions. I like Imagify, the image optimizer, and a plugin called Smush. Some of these plugins have both a free and a pro version, so it's worth checking them out to see if they will work for your project. Next, we have web-based tools where you can optimize the image before uploading it to your WordPress site. Some options worth considering are TinyPNG, TinyIMG, Kraken.io, and the Squoosh App. These will all help you create images. However, if you have a lot of images that you're trying to optimize, they are not usually the best choice because you generally have to optimize one image at a time. Finally, we have image editors. You can use editors such as Photoshop or free options like Pixlr, Photopea, and GIMP. Let's go into WordPress and see how we can optimize our images. What I'm going to show you now is how we can use a plugin to help optimize our images. It is worth mentioning that I generally try to optimize my images prior to uploading them to WordPress. So I try to take into account where the images are being used and what general size I will need to use them at. With that being said, I did intentionally make some of my images a little bit bigger so that I could show you how the process of reducing the image file size works when we use a plugin. I will go to my plugin area of WordPress. I'm going to click Add New Plugin. If you search for image optimization, you will find quite a few plugins that help you to convert the file type of your images as well as optimize images. So depending on what you need to do, you can go ahead and look into the various plugins. The plugin that I'm going to be showing you today is Imagify. As you can see, this has fairly good reviews. It was updated last month and it is compatible with this version of WordPress. Another image compression plugin that I really like is this Smush image optimization plugin. It has excellent reviews and has been updated fairly recently. However, this plugin is untested with this version of WordPress. So what that means is if you're going to use this plugin, you will need to make sure that it is compatible with your version of WordPress. I generally try to use plugins that are compatible with my version. Most of the time, plugins that are regularly updated are compatible. But as you can see, this one was updated 6 months ago, and within that time frame, a new version of WordPress has come out. So that is why we have the incompatibility. However, I am going to use the Imagify plugin, so I will go ahead and install this plugin now. Once it's installed, I will activate it. And with this particular plugin, once you've activated it, you're going to get this banner at the top of your plugin page, which lets you know what you need to do to use this plugin. So in order to use this particular plugin, you first need to create an account. Then they will send you an API key, and you have to have the API key in order to use the plugin. And once you have those things, then you can configure the plugin and optimize your images. So I will go ahead and sign up. And as I mentioned before, you'll have to enter your email. Once you've done that, you just need to check your mailbox and get your API key. I'll go ahead and paste the API key in, and then I'll click Connect Me, and you can see that now my API key is valid, and I can now configure the Imagify settings to optimize the images. I'll click OK. There's a link right here to go to settings for this particular plugin, but if you happen to not do this right away, you can always go to settings and find the Imagify plugin listed under settings. Once we go to this portion of the website, you can go ahead and decide how you want the plugin to function. This particular plugin has both a free and a pro version. We will be using the free version, so everything I show you is something that you can do for free. You can see right here that this is automatically checked, which means that it will automatically optimize every image that you upload to WordPress. I have already uploaded my images to WordPress, so my images already exist, but this will kick in from this point on. If I was to upload any new images, they would automatically get optimized. This plugin is also going to back up original images, which is kind of nice. So it will keep these in a separate folder in case you ever need to reference those. And then we have something called lossless compression. So by default, the plugin is going to optimize the images using something called smart compression, which they recommend. That gives you the best compression rating with optimal quality. However, they do mention that if you're a photographer and you want your images to have better quality rather than performance, then you may want to check this so that it doesn't use the lossy compression algorithm. Down here, you can go ahead and select what type of images that you want. I'm going to go with WebP, but if you wanted to use AVIF, you would simply check those and all your images would be optimized like that. The next section is where you can display images in the next gen format on the site. If you look down below, it lets you know that it is going to add some code to your htaccess document, which isn't going to change your page code, but it also lets you know that if you do this, it doesn't work with a CDN, and it will also replace images. If you click this anyways, you can choose to replace the image tag with the picture tag, and the picture tag allows you to serve up different versions of your images based on the type of device, whether it's desktop or mobile. And this could be a good way to go, but they also let you know that this is the preferred solution. However, some themes may break. If you're going to do this, you need to make sure that you back up your site before you make any changes, just in case it does cause problems. You can always reinstall your website, and then you may want to uncheck this if that is the case. Down here, it lets you know that it's going to resize larger images. So it is going to specify a maximum pixel width. I'm going to reduce this down to 1800. This will allow me to save a little bit more file size. It also detects that I'm using the Astra theme, so it will actually add the theme to optimization. So if I want that to be included, I can go ahead and do that. And then finally, down here, you can choose different image sizes that WordPress automatically creates, and if you want those optimized. So I'm going to go ahead and just use these default settings right here. In addition to this particular company makes other plugins, so they are going to recommend those other plugins. But I am going to go ahead and click Save and go to Bulk Optimizer. And it looks like the value actually needs to be greater than 2048, so I'll just plug in that value right there. And let's try this again. We'll click Save and go to Bulk Optimizer. And once we do this, the plugin is ready to go. So you can see that currently I have not optimized any of my images. So none of my images have been optimized. What I need to do is I need to go ahead and specify if I want these optimized. If you click the button right here, you can still have the option to choose that lossless quality. but I am going to go with the smart quality, and I'm just going to have the plugin optimize all of my images. So I'll click this link right here. It lets me know that this could take a little while, so I'm just going to click start the optimization process. I do have quite a few images, so in my case, this is going to take a little bit of time. You might want to run this and then take a little break and come back. But the plugin will give you feedback on how the optimization process is going. So if we go ahead and reference this value, you will see that it will increase over time. And I'll go ahead and let the optimization process run, and I'll show you what this looks like once it is completed. As the plugin runs, it's going to let you know the percentage of images that it has gone through, and it will also show you the original size and the optimized size. So again, I'm just going to let this completely run, and then I'll show you the results that we get. Now the optimization process is completed, and as you can see, we have definitely reduced the amount of file size with our images considerably. We've dropped this down in half. So it's gone through 97 images, and it's dropped the file size from 30.4 megabytes down to 14.6, which is awesome. I'll go ahead and show you the front end portion of our website. If we go to the front end portion and I'll refresh my website, we really don't see any change between what we had before and what is there now. We've just made our website more efficient by optimizing the images and reducing the size of the files down considerably. This is a really easy plugin to use. Obviously, all you really need to do is install it and run it, and it will go ahead and optimize your images. I would encourage you to think about image optimization so that your website is going to run more efficiently and give your end users a better experience.